Hi, I'm John Miglosh for the International Society for Strategic Marketing and the Wisconsin DMA. Well, I'm continuing on with yesterday's show, partly because I'm on the road today, but I've just been blown away. So it's one of the greatest articles I've ever read coming out of the ad agency world, and J.P. Hansen. And so we're going to feature him today, and we're going to also hopefully do a chat on Skype at his convenience. I'm trying to do that more. If you've got something to say, give me a call. Happy to talk. Takes the pressure off me. I'll let you talk. But this is the world's only daily live marketing news show, as far as I know. And we cover the world, and very thought-provoking. So I really appreciate when you share or subscribe, especially subscribe on Periscope, because it's kind of an emerging platform, and I really enjoy it. Okay, so let's get on with things. Okay, yesterday I touched on this ad pitch that this company in India is saying we can guarantee a certain level of sales. And what I liked about it was that it is actually based on a subscriber base. Okay, it's a subscriber base of about 15,000 younger people and 50,000 or 60,000, older people, professionals. Okay, so they introduce a brand or a product and try to get the community excited about it, and then the community goes out and gets more viewers. I think that's a really interesting approach in the interactive digital world. It's sort of like a Keeping Up with the Joneses movie base for digital. You get some reality to it. It's not just paid reviews and fake reviews on Amazon or a bunch of fake bots inflating your views. So I really like that. Anyway, on that note, where they guarantee success, I went over to this article, which says we can't guarantee success, only increases probability. And I just was blown away. And where it starts is that we all want to uncover the secrets to success, right? As an Amway Platinum distributor, I was all wrapped up in every kind of success book that could be found. And so there are also success books in marketing, which we also did get to read. He says that if you've ever been in an agency pitch, which we were just talking about, you know the power of a promised return. The problem is it's impossible to predict the future. As I've said over and over and over my entire career, data is history, and data is not the future. And no matter who tells you it's real-time data, it's not. It's history data. It's past. It's what you just went by. It's not where you're going. And predicting where you should go is extremely difficult. And so what we do in our own brains is we do cognitive bias that leads us to make specific inferences on the basis of general impressions so that our brains don't explode. Makes a lot of sense. Okay? We judge books by their cover. Brilliant. We do that. And it's funny because when I provide, we throw 500 variables into a soup kitchen. We work very, very, very hard on the dependent variable, harder than almost anyone else can do. They don't have the capability of doing it like we do. But having said that, then we throw the kitchen sink at it, and you find out that the oh, we had a variable that came up the other day, and it's not an important part of the model, but we had a variable, the percentage of water. Because the postal areas are areas, they don't follow. If there's a river, the river can go through it. If there's a lake, the lake can be in it. And so it turned out that in this particular spot in the model, the SCFs that had the most water in them as a percentage of the area turned out to work better and validate. And then the client asks, well, what does that mean? It probably means nothing, and that's the problem is you get these You get these little nuggets, and then you can launch off into outer space about what they mean, and they mean nothing. Okay, so then what we do is we take a variable and we validate it against another sample from the same campaign, and because we have a solid dependent variable, we can rule out the vast majority of that nonsense because it doesn't match up with the other sample set, which doesn't mean that it isn't true, but it means it's not that strong, is what it really means. That the correlation in half of the campaign doesn't match the other half, so it's just not a strong, and most of the time that's what happens. But sometimes it doesn't, which still doesn't mean it's real. Guess what we do then? Then we mail it. Then we use it as part of our discriminating factors in the mail. And guess what? We get to see if it works there too. So we get 3 tests of every variable, every independent variable. So JP, I'm not saying this guarantees success, but it sure seems to. It seems to have done it over and over and over for us for a good solid 25 years. But he goes on to talk about brands. When times are good, brands are innovative and brands are true to their heritage, and brands, or when times are bad, they're not moving with the times or they're failing to innovate, and yet they haven't really changed. Which brings us over to Heinz. Mark Ritson, I love Mark Ritson. He says Heinz is in trouble. They just lost last quarter $12.6 billion. You could build a wall between Mexico and anywhere for that. That's a lot of money to me. Okay, and first off, people are saying, well, it's because of the direct-to-consumer. But that's like spitting in the wind. It isn't much. It doesn't amount to a hill of beans. And he makes that point rightly. Okay, then it's the big retail squeeze. And, margins are always under pressure from Walmart and from other big supermarket chains. Always, 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 right? But and then he focuses on zero-based budgeting, which is funny because Mark Katunis this week had one on zero-based budgeting, but he says he doesn't think that's it. This one is a big one. You look at the Kraft brands. This is the really interesting one. You look at the Kraft brands. Kraft Heinz represents some of the world's best-known brands. But the problem is, Heinz beans, does anybody really like beans? Not me. Not that much. Kraft cheese. I live in Wisconsin. Do we even eat Kraft cheese? Not if we can help it. Okay, so other brands are getting fresher. And the point, this is the great part, the Brazilian billionaire he said, I've been living in a cozy world of old brands and big volumes. We bought brands that we thought would last forever and just focused on being efficient. Suddenly we were disrupted. I believe over here that they bought into this growth model, which was championed by Jim Stengel, who built a database of the factors that he thought contributed to growth. And it had to do with established brands. Now, his background was Procter & Gamble, so of course he thinks that. And they didn't look at the loyalty focus of the failing brands. Oscar Mayer is one of the most recognized. I can sing the song for you right now, but that doesn't mean I buy Oscar Mayer wieners. I don't. I buy the Kraft handmade Italian sausages that my grocery store brand does. Okay, so we touched on this. Here's Stengel's growth. He had this great model. Everybody believed in it. Guess what? Just because you know about Oscar Mayer doesn't mean you're going to buy their wiener whistles. Okay, growth. This book, Growth, turned out to be completely useless. It's prescribing a recipe for success. There is no guaranteed path. Okay? What can be measured does not always count. Most of what can be measured doesn't count, nor can all that counts be measured. Get my book. I talk about the I love you variable. You want to read that, okay? Spinning Strong to Gold, John Miglosh. What matters most is not doing things well, but better than our competition. Marketing is about solving business problems. It's not just about brand and timing. But mostly, he says, this is JP, says, listen critically when you hear a pitch for some new technique. And I'm pitching one right here. We've been doing this 25 years. We have an incredible track record. Mostly the clients that listen to us grow like crazy. Evidence is not synonymous with good evidence. See what their dependent variable is. We have the most solid dependent variable in the advertising world. Sorry, but it's true. You can't beat it. There are no shortcuts. You got to do a lot of work with your data. The devil is found in the crucial differing details. Great job, JP. I can't wait to talk to you on Skype. Have a great day.